What have you learnt from your audience feedback?
We first conducted a questionnaire at the start of our media coursework to find out if the target audience of 12 plus watch horror movies. We handed it out to 50 people, 25 boys and 25 girls of the age range of 12 to 19.
We found that out of the genres comedy, horror, romance and mystery crime, the most popular out of 30% was horror movies. We also found that 60% of the target group enjoyed watching horror movies and 26% said they sometimes do.
This gave us confidence that by making a horror movie trailer, we have no doubt that it will be successful within the target audience we are aiming at.
We also asked what they would expect to see in a horror movie trailer. Some of the answers we had was the use of a handheld camera, low, high angled shots, and a sense of disorientation. Respondents also said they expected to see colours such as black, grey, white, and red.
Some said that they were expected to see violence, costume, weapons, creepy children, ghosts, and a typical hero. We also asked what settings would come to mind when thinking about horror movies.
The respondents said they expected to see dark, isolated places, abandoned houses, hospitals, asylums, graveyards, and cabins.
Next, we asked, how often do you watch horror movies? Our results show that 48% of the target audience watched horror movies every week or month.
By doing some primary research, we now have a good base to what our target audience expects to see in a horror trailer. We know our target group is well matched to our genre by finding out how popular horror movies are amongst our target audience.
Therefore, we learnt from our research that there is a demand for horror movies in our target audience range.
Next, we created a storyboard of our trailer that included scenes, mise-en-scene, camera angles, editing, and sound.
We wanted to get some more target audience feedback, so we created a focus group from other media students to get their thoughts on our storyboard.
We asked them questions such as, does the story make sense to you? How can we improve? Does it follow horror movie conventions? Do we have a good range of camera angles, mise-en-scene, sound and editing?
The feedback we had was mainly positive. However, to improve, some individuals said we should use fake blood to fulfill the typical horror movie. Some said we should have more fast-paced editing and have eerie music such as violins or pianos. They suggested we should make use of voiceovers and should use a scary setting like an old church or graveyard.
After gaining feedback, we found it helpful and useful. We learnt that we needed to add more horror movie conventions and film in places like graveyards to make it more a typical horror film. We used the feedback to make sure we used scarier settings like an old warehouse graveyard and dark forest plus church.
We learnt that we should consider adding more scenes or filming in scarier places. However, we have to consider the accessibility of these environments and the risks.
Our next feedback we gained was in our media lesson. We showed our rough cut trailer to a focus group. We handed out a questionnaire before they viewed the trailer so they could write down anything they wanted to make a comment about.
Some questions we asked were rating the effectiveness of our music, camera angles, and editing out of 5. All of our respondents rated us 4 or 5. However, some made some comments about our editing.
Some of the comments included taking out some of the running shots of the main character, more fast-paced editing, cut some of the longer scenes, have shorter shots of the blackout, and have a scary jump.
After reading the comments, we realised we have got too many scenes of the main character just running through the woods. We also took on board that the blackout screens needed to be a lot shorter.
We learned that the black screens made the editing look slow, and after researching other horror movie trailers, like The Boy, which have faster paced editing, we adjusted ours to match the style of this trailer.
We learned that we needed a scene that would be the sting, something that would make the audience scared and make them hooked to what happens next.
Overall, I feel that through the process of receiving feedback on our trailers, I have learnt a lot about how to make our work more effective.
The main thing that I have learned is that when planning for our trailer in your head, you know what you want it to look like and what kind of techniques you will use to achieve it, but you need to consider how the audience will read the media text and how they will understand it.
I have learnt the importance of gaining target audience feedback as we need to know what the age range are looking for in the trailer to make it specifically appeal to them.